Welcome. You're just seconds away from the Brian Brawdy Show, where listener participation is strongly encouraged. Well, unless, of course, you're easily triggered, then listener discretion strongly advised. And if you fall into the latter camp, why don't you just mortal up already?
You're listening to the Brian Brawdy Show here on RadioBri.com. Unfettered, unfiltered, unafraid.
Good afternoon, just a minute after. Thank you so very much for joining us for episode 538 of the Brian Brawdy Show. It's on you. We are very glad to have you here with us. There is so much to get to. Just like every day that we've been coming into it, in and around the election, not even post-election, right? Whatever limbo we're in right now, there's just so much to get to. But I have to just take time before we jump into it. Thank everyone, obviously, for listening. Whether you're listening on YouTube or here in the Facebook feed, thank you so very much for joining us. And we're going to open the phone lines, Wayne. Is that correct? Right off at the top of the show?
Absolutely. As soon as you're ready.
Absolutely. All right, so let's do that first. And then while you're busy working your magic, I'll prepare for this little thing we're going to do.
You got it.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
There you go. In the hieroglyphics, 833-667-8251. Before we jump into it, I got to give a quick shout out to our little friend, Robert De Niro, tomato. He's so confounded how 72 million people and counting could have voted for President Trump. He's just a 71-year-old little puss, an actor that's played some tough spots, some tough parts, so he thinks he knows how to mix it up. What an absolute he should be a low-life making headline. Talk about a brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine. Robert De Niro running around thinking he is the parts that he's played. Let me say hello to Wayne. Wayne, how are you today? What's going on in the land of the Michiganders?
Not much that I know of.
No? All right. All right, so
I've just been so bogged down. I have no idea what's going on out there right now.
Oh, well, good for you. That's the way to get through the day, is just not pay attention to anything at all. Just do what you're doing, right? And then you don't have to worry. I just thought I'd mention little Robbie DeZero because he's just such a whiner, such a complainer. Talk about raging bullshit. This guy is full of it, right? It's like these actors that play bad guys, tough guys, and then like they think that's who they are when they walk through life. It's disgusting. Tired of hearing them. Talk about people that I wish would have packed up and moved away. Robert DeZero is absolutely one of them. All right, Wayne, I don't want to take up too much time because we got a whole list of people that are just, right? Talk about brittle brains atop balsa-wood spines. Brains that make your blood boil. We've got a bunch of them today. So why don't we run to our very first segment after I thank everyone. If you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or iTunes, thank you so very much. And of course, here at Facebook, if you're listening over on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Miss Putnam, hi to you as well. Wayne, let's hit it. The truth instead of reporting the facts? Why, I oughta. Instead, let me just congratulate you. You're today's contestant on Jousting with Journalists. All right, Jousting with Journalists. Who's our winner today? Oh, little George Stepanopilovit, the former Clinton White House communications director, which obviously is it seems to be a play on words, chief anchor and political correspondent on ABC News. So, Wayne, you might be wondering, Brian, why is George Stepanopilovit our Jousting with Journalists winner for today? So I have in honor of Alex Trebek, right? All the best to his family in this difficult time. In honor of Alex Trebek, I thought we'd play a little bit of Jeopardy. Like we'd do a quick little Jeopardy segment. Wayne, what do you think?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so former Clinton White House communications director and chief anchor and political correspondent of Anything But Certain News, right? ABC, Anything But Certain News, who believes he should be in the running as a Jeopardy host. Now, before you put your pen down, Wayne, don't forget to answer in the form of a question.
Who is George Stephanopoulos?
Who is George Stephanopoulos? What an arrogant little bastard. And is bastard one of the words I'm allowed to say? And let me just tell you why. Now, look, if he wants to go and people think, oh, he'd be a great guy. He's like a short version of Drew Carey. He'd be a great guy to do Jeopardy, right? This brainiac. But let me ask you a question. And we're going to talk about it, I know, Wayne, in, what's it called? Mortal Up. Thank you very much. It's called Mortal Up. We're going to talk about it later in this segment. But I want to talk to you quickly, Wayne, very, very quickly. While the phone lines are open, don't forget you can text us as well. You can also drop us an email. It comes directly in, brian@radiobri.com. Give us a holler if you like. So here's the reason that I picked him with Jousting with Journalists. He wants to get a car seat and so that he can, maybe a peach crate to stand on so that he can do Jeopardy, right? Great. So who is, you're absolutely right, Wayne. You won. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Who is George Stephanopoulos? Okay, so why is George Stephanopoulos on my mind today? Well, think back 20 years ago, and, oh, no, we have to count every vote. What if there's a hanging Chad? We've got to milk this for 37 days. Every single vote has to be counted. We just have to get to the bottom of this for our democracy, for the honor and truth and the American way, and we'll talk about tomorrow during Veterans Day, but everything most of us signed up for and right to be able to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. We need to milk this thing out as long as we possibly can. If it takes 2 months, we need to count every single vote. Now, you jump ahead 2 decades, right? You jump ahead 2 decades, and he's one of the many voices going, now, let's have some harmony. Let's wrap this thing up, right, Wayne?
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Bring the camera back to me, please. Let's wrap this thing up, and we just got to move to get behind. Wrap it up, right? Like we got to move to get behind Joe Biden. Everything. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on with the camera, but that's what I wanted to see. Am I going this? There you go. Now I got it right. So, right, wrap it up. We got to go. The people have spoken. There's a mandate. How do you get a mandate unless you get 125 million people, you don't have a mandate for anything. Check the meaning of the word. So now George goes, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. Forget everything. All the people that said 20 years ago, we've got to count every vote. Every single vote. Not a single vote can go uncounted. We've got to count every, and I'm assuming they meant legitimate vote. We've got to count every single vote. Well, now jump ahead 20 years, and they're like, oh, no, you can't. So, Wayne, is George Stephanopoulos, is he saying now we don't count every vote?
I'm not sure what he's saying anymore because he's going to change his mind again in a few days.
Oh, that's a great question. So, in other words, 20 years ago, he was wrong, I guess. So what you're saying is he's in the run for Jeopardy. He's got a 20-year history of being wrong.
Yep.
Because clearly he's had a change of heart. He said back then, count the vote, count the vote, count the vote, count the vote, count the vote. But now he's saying, oh, you can't. Let's have some unity. Let's get together. It's a conspiracy theory if everyone thinks these votes should be counted. So now he said, oh, yeah, 20 years ago, I was wrong. So he has a history, a 2-decade, 20-year, do the math, a history of not only being a crap weasel, but of being wrong. How am I wrong here, Wayne? If he said something 20 years ago and he was wrong, now he corrects himself and says, no, let's circle the wagons. Let's call for unity. We have to heal the country. I don't need healed. If by healed, he's like talking to a dog going, heal, kneel right down here. Do exactly what I told you. But what you're saying to me, Wayne, is he has a 2-decade, 20-year history of being wrong.
Yep.
So why would we make him the host of Jeopardy? I just don't get it. Absolutely, Meshuggah.
My gut tells me with as popular as that show is, it will lose a ton of viewership.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he was a pretty smart guy, and I can't believe that George Stephanopoulos is going to, no pun intended, try to step up to the plate. All right, Wayne, calm is yours.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
As much as I hate to say goodbye to George Stephanopoulos, That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have to move on into our next segment. And, of course, the views expressed on the show by me or anyone else, they don't touch the sponsors, Counterpunch.media, and, of course, Certifiable Brilliance. You people are allowed to think what you want. I'm just saying George stepped in a pile of it. 20 years ago, we thought he had the right answer. Now he says, no, don't count. Let's move along. Let's get behind. So what he's saying is he's had a 2-decade history of being wrong. A 2-decade history of being wrong. Enough out of George stepping a pile of it and anything but certain news. Right. Right, Wayne. It's just, I need my spritzer already. And it's only 11 minutes into the show. All right, Wayne. So let's jump. Speaking of needing a spritzer, let's jump in. I'll take a quick little sip of cold water. See if that helps. Let's jump into our next segment. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. All right, who do we got? Oh, Wayne, I got to tell you, great job once again. It's like you do a phenomenal job, Wayne, every time you drop one of these logos. There's so much to talk about in today's Lowlifes making headlines. So let's start on the left, Jake Tapper. Jake, obviously saying he's not going to scold everybody, but just the sense of arrogance. What makes him a lowlife making headline from over at the Circus News Network? You might think of it as CNN is just his pontificating, looking down at everybody, dual standard. And we'll get to the dual standard as we move into mortal. Let's talk about it right now, right? In the Fifth Amendment, and I know this is different from George stepping a pile of it. In the Fifth Amendment, the Bill of Rights of the Constitution, there's a thing called due process. Now, it's kind of tucked in there amongst a bunch of different things, but basically it says due process. There's 2 different types, right? Doesn't matter. It just trust me. There's 2 different types of this due process. But bottom line is they want there to be a general, right? So whether it's substantive, however you look at it, they want there to be a general sense of fairness. But what's happened with George stepping a pile of it, and also Jake Slapper at Circus News Network, and to a certain degree why we put in Don Lemon from also from the Circus News Network, is they don't think it's due process. They don't think there's a level playing field. They believe in dual process. The process that they have, that's the process that's right. That's the process that they want. The hell with you. The hell with us common folks. It's not due process. What are you talking about? It's not due process. It's dual. It's one for us. It's one for the maniacs. It's one for the vampire class, and one for you, for everybody else, right? You people that don't know good enough. You people that Robert De Niro is all confounded by. 72 million of us. The deplorables, the flyovers, the ones that need healing. We need a balm for our brain. You zero. Don Lemon on TV crying. Look, if you can't get a hold of your emotions, Don, right, check out. Go do something else. That's all I'm saying. Go find something else to talk about. Wayne, I see a quick little thing that says that our this video has ended. Don't know what that's all about, but let's keep it going here on the radio side. If you're listening to RadioBri.com, or you're listening on MortalUp.com, here we go. So moving on to our next contestant in Lowlife's making headlines. Now, I don't even know. Wayne, do you know how to pronounce this name? Meacham? Is it Meacham? Meacham? Looks like Wayne's gone too. Maybe everything's gone.
No, I'm here.
I don't know.
I'm just checking to make sure we're not stopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got the a note on Facebook that we're done. This video has ended.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, good. Well, good. Just at my case. So thank you for everyone. Sorry, I won't be able to respond here in the feed. So our next lowlife making headlines is it Meacham? Wayne?
Yes, it's John Meacham.
John Meacham. Okay, so former MSNBC contributor. Oh, wait a minute. Former Joe Biden speechwriter. Did I hear, Wayne, someone say to me that he was a political contributor? He's right? Because he's as sharp as anybody. What a sharp knife in the drawer. Did I hear that he was also on the side writing speeches for Joe Biden? Oh, no bias there, right?
Well,
he was writing speeches for Joe Biden, including Joe Biden's acceptance speech. Is that what I just heard?
Right. What it is he didn't disclose his ties to Joe Biden to MSNBC.
Oh, so he's a sneaky little bastard is what you're saying.
So
he's a sneaky little bastard. He didn't tell the truth. Is that what you're saying to me?
So MSNBC just let him go.
Oh, they let him go. Oh, MSNBC. Look, if MSNBC says MSNBC, you must really be a lowlife making headlines. So let me get this straight. He's pontificating on air about what a brainiac this little putz is. And then we find out he's writing Biden speeches. Now, I've written speeches before for presidential candidates, right? I get that. I understand that. But at least come clean. Does anyone tell the truth anymore? You know, Don Lemon, so upset about this and that. This is the guy I remember a couple New Years ago was drinking margarita bombers from a hot tub in Florida. Save it, Don. Nobody gives a crap about your opinion. Nobody. Does he even make the top 20 of news segments anymore over at Circus News Network or anywhere, Wayne?
I don't think anything on CNN makes the top numbers anymore.
It could very well be. I believe in that. So, John Meekum, there you go. You go get him, Tiger. You try to double dip. You go get him, Tiger. Yes, there's your little kitty growl trying to double dip, which is another thing when I get off on this. I think it's Hugh Hewitt, who always wants to tell you how Meet the Mess, Chuck Todd is such a great guy, and Hugh's just trying to keep his job, over at NBC. But for MSNBC to say goodbye to somebody, wow, that is really something else. And then, of course, we have, you know her, you love her, from Ghost, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg saying on TV, I just happened to catch a quick little segment, Wayne, but how dare you? How dare you call for a recount? How dare you not want to just dovetail and get behind and start the healing? Wayne, I'm sorry, with the Russia. Celebrity voices are impersonated. Russia. How much healing, how much dovetailing, how much kumbaya, how much get behind the winner was there when President Trump took the helm?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she calling for a recount when Hillary Clinton lost?
Great. Let me find out. I don't know if that's the case, but, oh, wait a minute. You mean Whoopi Goldberg was wrong, too? It's just 4 years ago? You don't have to go back 20 years for George Stephanopoulos? You don't have to do that. You only have to go back 4 years for Whoopi to be calling for a recount. But now she's like, how dare you? How dare? Look at these pompous asses. Like we give a crap about their opinion. It's just fascinating to me. It's just fascinating to me. Well, and there again, you have our lowlifes making headlines for today. I'll take another little sip. But Jake Tapper over at the Circus News Network, followed by Don Lemon. I can't get any composure. And John, why don't I double dip as a speechwriter for Clueless Joe and be a political commentator on MSNBC, right? And do that. And Whoopi Goldberg, how dare you? I got an idea. Whoopi, how dare you? How do you like that? How dare you, Whoopi, to dare me? All right, Wayne, I'm very excited about our next segment. So why don't we go ahead? I know you're going to take the comm here in just a minute. We'll run to that, and then we'll be right back.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests. We do love our guests. Some of it's pre-recorded. You never can tell, right? Could be. You never know. All right, don't forget, phone lines are open, 833-MORTAL, the numeral 1-833-667-8251. You can also email us at brian@radiobride.com if you want to come right in here to the booth. Give me an idea what you're thinking. Maybe you're defending one of these ass hats. I don't know, right? Oh, my friend Ted says to call them Tookus. I think Tookus hats. I like ass hat. It just works for me, Wayne. You know what I mean? It just rhymes. I like a little bit of truth in media, truth in advertising. That's all I'm saying. All right, Wayne, I know I'm excited about this next segment. Can you just give me an idea what it is? Return to vendor, because some DNA just needs to go back. Oh, return to vendor. Oh, thank you, Wayne. I appreciate you doing this. Let's do this, Wayne. We're going to talk about this attacker who stabs a man in the head repeatedly over in Harlem, intersection of 108th and 2nd Avenue. If those of you have ever been there before in Harlem, you know that intersection. And Wayne, you have a video for us, I believe, right? So the people that are at least watching can see what it is that's going on. Is that true?
It is absolutely true.
All right, let's go ahead and play that. Let's get that going. Warning, graphic content. Oh, Oh, very nice. So, in case you're not catching it, asshat on the left in the black is stabbing somebody in the face. Now, I haven't read enough about the medical report, Wayne, so I don't know if it was an ice pick or a knife, but it was some type of sharp instrument.
It was a knife.
It was a knife. Okay, thank you. Repeatedly stabs another human being in the head. So you know my position. We've talked about it before. Return the vendor, because some DNA just needs to go back. And this most certainly is that. It falls into that category, right, Wayne?
Yes.
If you can take and repeatedly stab somebody in the head, you're not only a lowlife making headlines. Look, find you, arrest you, charge you, convict you, and execute you. It's that very simple. There's my law enforcement plan for moving forward when I decide to run for office, right? If you have such a depraved indifference to human life that you can repeatedly stab somebody in the face with a knife, you get the electric chair, you get the firing squad, you get the gas chamber, you get, right? Oh, Brian, that's cruel and unusual. Well, it's only unusual until you do it the first time. Then it's not so much unusual anymore. Wait a minute. You just subject someone to a firing squad yesterday. Oh, well, I guess right? It's not that unusual anymore now, is it? All the legal scholars want to give me a holler, let me know why that theory is wrong. If it's cruel and unusual, you do it. 1 hour later, it's no longer unusual. So if you evince, as I say, a depraved indifference to human life, and you can repeatedly stab another human being in the face with a knife, it's time for you to go 10-7, term we used to use in law enforcement, out of service. Time for you to go 10-7. That's all I'm suggesting. So now, Wayne, is there anything else I need to know about this, or are we pretty good with the stats around this thing? Did they find the guy? Do you know anything more about it?
Yes, he's a 17-year-old kid.
Execute him.
And he's been arrested.
Oh, he's okay. Arrested before, or this is the first time? Oh, I'm sure.
So he's been arrested since this.
Can't wait to see his high school graduation picture all over the media. Execute him.
He's been arrested for this attack, and the victim, I believe, is in the hospital, but he's doing pretty well.
He's doing pretty well. Okay, very good. Very good. So our little budding year-old valedictorian, no doubt, will be seeing his picture all over the news in a little bow tie and this and that, and hearing about what a fine, upstanding young person he is. He repeatedly stabbed another human being in the face with a knife. Find him. Oh, they found him. They're going to charge him, convict him, and execute him. Get him out of here. Because as I said, to open the tease, some DNA just needs to go back, and this guy qualifies. Just like last week, right, Wayne?
Yeah.
The guy that kills his girlfriend with the baby and dumps her body alongside of the highway. Or this, look, okay, so if everyone says, well, Brian, it's a little harsh to suggest that there's a depraved indifference to human life, then I say we execute them because they're not smart enough to know that there's got to be a camera recording them, right? That's the next thing, Wayne. There's got to be something, right? Maybe that's what we talk about, right? This is ridiculous, right? There are people, little Jesse Smollett. There's going to be cameras. There are going to be cameras. If you commit a crime, chances are going to be pretty good. You're going to be caught on camera. So wake up, right? That's all I'm saying.
Well,
right,
this clown was caught on camera.
He was caught on camera. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but the other day I was over at a grocery store, right? And I'm just going to get out of here because it keeps saying that the show's ended. So I'm just going to get out of Mug Pamphlet altogether. I don't even know why we do Mug Pamphlet. I'm sick of it. So let me just say this. I was over at the grocery store the other day, and I didn't realize this till after the fact. So I went in one of those things, and look, I don't care what everyone says. You get multiple tomatoes, that counts as one item. So if you get a half a dozen tomatoes, it doesn't count as 6 in your under 20 or less, right? Doesn't count as 6. It counts as one item. That's 6 tomatoes. Get over yourself. Do the math, right? So that's one item, one tomato. You scan it, you hit the button 6 times. One item. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So when I was getting ready to do my asparagus, and I didn't know this, Wayne, let me say hello to Michael. Michael, thank you for hanging out with us. Susan, Nice to see you as well, or at least the virtual you pop up in the feed. Nice to see you. So I'm at the grocery store, Wayne, and I don't know if you knew this, but all of these automatic teller machines so that they can swoop down on you whenever they catch you doing something wrong. There are television cameras above that shoot down, and apparently what triggers the camera is that if they think something's up, they think something is a foul, right? So that loss prevention can swoop down on you and make a collar, make an arrest. You go get them, Tiger. So in any event, this camera activates if they think there's a nefariousness afoot, yes? So I didn't realize till afterwards, till a beeping light came on and the lady comes rushing over and it says, you need an attendant. And I go, okay, well, what do I need to attend for? Oh, no, it's not you. Don't worry. The camera just caught something. And I go, well, what did it catch me doing? She goes, well, it's not necessarily caught you doing anything, but you move the asparagus. Instead of moving from the right to the left, for some reason, you move the asparagus from the left to the right in the scanner when you went to scan it. And I go, yeah, because I picked it up in both hands. I joggled it around trying to figure out where the barcode was. I must have ended up, I found the barcode when the thing was in my left hand, so it moved in front of the scanner with my left hand. Well, it triggered an alert, right? It triggered an alert that, well, I guess I was trying, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe it thought because I moved in from another direction, I was going to pocket some asparagus. Hey, is that change in your pocket? Or is that asparagus in your pocket? Or are you just glad to see me? Right? So she goes, oh, no. I'm sorry. But here, if you go to buy fruits and vegetables, Wayne, you're on camera. You're always on camera. If you kill your girlfriend and her child and you go to dump her body alongside of the road, you're on camera. If you decide to repeatedly stab another human being in the face, you're on camera. So I vote return the vendor just because you're too stupid. Like I said yesterday, you don't want to inhale secondhand stupid, right? It's impossible, right? There's no Heimlich maneuver for that. You don't want to do it. If you're going to commit a crime, you're going to be on camera. That, if no other reason, I vote return to vendor. Let me say hello to Donald as well. Donald, thank you for stopping by at the Brian Brawdy Show. Here on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, if you're listening on radiobri.com, it is a pleasure to have you with us. So, Wayne, I didn't tell you, that's my little story about going shopping the other day, and they caught me on camera being ambidextrous. I use my left hand to scan and my right. They don't like switch hitters, Wayne. I guess that's right. Was Rod Carew a switch hitter? There was a switch hitter in baseball that was really good. I guess you'd be getting a camera triggered on you as well. They don't like switch hitters over at the grocery store. Right? So if you're going to commit a crime, you're going to be on camera. Not that I was committing a crime. If you're going to shoplift, why would you shoplift asparagus? It's like 29 cents for 50 stalks. That's all I'm saying. All right, Wayne, let's go ahead. The phone lines are still open, 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1. Easy for me to say. Mortal and the numeral 1, MORTAL 1. Or the hieroglyphics of it, the chicken scratch of it, 833-667-8251. It's a toll-free call. You can also send me an email directly in here to the studio. Send the email directly to brian@radiobri.com. All right, we're going to be back after this short little break.
You're listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. Time to buckle up. Let me say hello to Ruby, Donald, Susan, Michael, Miss Putnam. Thank you so very much. We're back to the second half hour of the Brian Brawdy Show. And, you know, I mentioned yesterday that I'm waiting on AOC to send me my scarlet letter. And I don't know, Wayne, if the letter should be T for truth, T for whatever the scarlet letter should be. And I'll even say T for Trump, because now there's a whole host, not just AOC, the POS, not just AOC, but a whole host of Democrats calling for political revenge against their opponents. So all I said the other day on Twitter, all I said over here, and don't inhale secondhand stupid, is please put my name on top of the list and spell it. Wayne, could you put the graphic back up? No, the graphic's up already. I was going to say, in case anyone doesn't know how to spell Brawdy, right? It's Brian with an I, not with a Y. Brian Brawdy. Make sure you spell my name correctly. Put me on the top of your list for revenge. Put me on the top of your list. Why? Because I've simply said if 20 years ago it was good enough to count every vote, it should still be good enough now. Put me on the top of your godforsaken list, right? Let's just jump right in. Put me on top of your list. Colin, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you, brother. So that's all I'm suggesting, Wayne. If you're going to give other people scarlet letters, give one to me. I'll start wearing it. And then why don't you just track me down, AOC? I think, all right, just track me down and give me my scarlet letter in person. That would be great. All right, Wayne, so what else is going on in the world? I see that all kinds of people want revenge, right? I want healing. Healing. Saw the picture of Clueless Joe the other day. Wasn't even he was wearing his mask. Not on his nose. So when he's calling for, I want a national mask mandate, I get an idea. Why don't you check a mirror for your look, figure out how to wear the mask before you're busy telling everybody else how to wear one. What else is going? Wayne, you were going to do some research yesterday. I know a lot of people are upset. We talked about Robert De Niro at the top of the show. Talk about a raging pile of bullshit. We talked about Robert De Niro. I get it. I got it. All right. Great. Also, more of the same. Some of the critics are concerned because Biden continues to avoid questions from the media in a post-election walk-off. He just says, no, I'm not going to answer any more questions. What? What was, I don't know. What was the, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, no further questions. There's a lid. What happened to the lid? There was a lid before the election. I got to call a lid. Where's the lid now? Why is there no lid? Find me the lid. Lid, damn it, lid. So I think we've covered what everyone else is kind of fuming about today. But Wayne, what's going on? I haven't had a chance to look. What's going on in with the whole election thing? I see here that disgraced Deputy FBI Chief Andrew McCabe testifies in Senate probe of Russia. Like a barking lapdog. Russia. I need to get a barking dog sound effect. But Wayne, what's going on in the world today? Or what's going on in the election?
They're just still counting ballots in some states.
All right, good.
I understand Trump is gaining back some in Arizona.
Wow, okay.
It's getting pretty close.
That's going to look kind of bad for Chris Steyerwald over at Fox News when he called it at like 12:30 in the afternoon on Election Day, right? Right? I don't think, right?
It's going to look bad for every one of them.
Aren't you supposed to wait for polls to close? And by, I mean, making sure that all the votes are in before you call an election. And let me ask you a question. With no one trusting the media, can I ask the election? The media doesn't declare the election. Nope. The media doesn't pick the winner, right? So isn't there something called, I don't know, I'm so tired of people. It's almost as bad as Russia. Well, it's got to get to 270. Russia. It's like these brainiacs, 270. Oh, geez, I've never heard that term. What's 270? 270. You got to get to 270. But who awards the 270? Not the media. Let's hope George Stephanopoulos isn't the one running the media show.
Nope, it's the individual states have to certify their results.
All right.
And that's not supposed to happen for another couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's not supposed to happen for another couple of weeks.
All right, so what's the rush? I mean, we all have plans for New Year's. I get that. But I got to tell you, Wayne, all of this talk from AOC and De Niro, and there's a bunch of them in D.C., right? Going, we need anyone that supported this guy. We need a list. We need a scarlet letter. We need a black mark. We need to be able to 72 million. people, however many. Where's he at right now?
I think still.
Wait, what's the total number of votes? Like 72?
Yeah, somewhere around
72 million? Somewhere around there, right? Tomato. 72 million people are going to be on a blacklist. I should mention that Blacklist is by far my favorite show. James Spader is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hope that show comes back. I hope they get over all this COVID-19 craziness, the Wuhan wheeze, as I like to call it. I hope they get over this, and then sooner or later, Wayne, we get back to the Blacklist. Because next to Vikings, Blacklist is the best show on TV. But in any event, so now the Democrats are calling for a blacklist. They want to give us all a scarlet letter, make sure that we're just screwed in the future, depending upon who we voted for. It's ridiculous. The big whining crybabies, right? They're not satisfied. They're never satisfied. It's never good enough for them. But I say this, Wayne, every time. It is an absolutely fantastic time. It is the best time in the history of the world to be alive, hands down. No two ways about it. All right, Wayne.
We have a new segment.
We have a new segment. All right, let's go to that. We'll push the 40 a little out. Oh, please. Enough. Why not give it a rest already? No one around here is drinking your Kool-Aid. I love it. I think I may have left the gulp go a little long, but I think everyone's getting it. Who's our please? Oh, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel. Now, that's Rahm, a former mayor of Chicago, former chief of staff of Teflon Bill Clinton, former chief of staff, architect of Obamacare.
No, this is his brother.
That's what I just said. Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel was the brother of Rahm Emanuel. I'm sorry. I know you don't listen to the show. Just you're the executive producer. So let's just turn the camera on you. What is it you're listening to? What are you watching? You playing Sudoku? What are you doing there? Eating? Drinking? Oh, sitting back. You're doing the Macarena. Okay, very good. So his brother is Rahm Emanuel, who used to be the mayor of Chicago, used to be the chief of staff of Teflon Willie. But now you'd be going, oh, please. I guess he is a member of a so-called president-elect. Great. Tomato, call him whatever you like, right? A so-called member of the president-elect Biden's coronavirus task force. But do I not remember when you talk about clips of audio? That would be something I would love to get. Maybe we'll do that for tomorrow's show. But I remember seeing this brainiac, this brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine saying, life after 75 is not worth living. Where he was saying that if you get to be 75, I'd like to know how old this nut job is, right? But that life after 75, I'm just curious. Since life after 75 is not worth living, how old's Clueless Joe?
Older than that.
Older than, get out of here. Well, not old enough to know better. Don't put someone on your task force when they're saying you're already too old to vote as to whether I should be on your task force. Are you kidding me? So that's why Ezekiel Emanuel, Dr. Emanuel, architect of Obamacare. Oh, they must be having some fun today at the Supreme Court, which I have to tell you, Wayne, with all due respect to everyone at the Supreme Court, our future of our kids, of our grandkids, our country, right, lies in the hands of people that think it's a good idea to wear a robe to work. That's what's always kind of freaked me out about the Supreme Court. We need robes. Didn't we leave a country because everyone had to wear a silver wig? We come to work, we put on a black robe, means we're smart. Oh, please. Hey, does anyone know when you go to the Supreme Court, are the justices in masks? Is there anyone in the feed? Anyone can tell me? Don't forget, you can give us a call, 833-MORTAL, and the numeral 1, 833-MORTAL1. Of course, the chicken scratch is 833-667-8251. Does anyone know, anyone here been to the Supreme Court of late? And are the justices wearing robes and masks?
From what I understand, they have been doing hearing the cases remotely.
Oh, all right. Well, at least they're not like Nancy Pelosi and wearing matching masks and outfits, except when she eats her designer ice cream at $100 a quart, right? When she's doing that.
Or goes and gets her hair done.
Yeah, or when she goes to get her hair done, right? And I found that he is interesting. Anderson Cooper the other day saying that President Trump was a bloated orange turtle on its back flailing around. And I thought to myself, really? I think he was talking about Jerry Nadler. I thought he was talking about Jerry Nadler. when he said a bloated turtle rolling around on his back, that's who I thought Anderson Cooper was talking about. I have to be honest. Ricky, thank you for joining us. Nice to see you here on the feed of the Brian Brawdy Show. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so that's my take, Wayne. A little bit different about Dr. Emmanuel, and that, look, if you're 75, you might as well just pack it in. I don't know. I'd like to live to be a hell of a lot longer than 75.
Yeah, Biden's
right?
77, by the way.
Biden is 77, 2 years past being old enough. 2 years. You're on the bubble, brother. Learn how to wear your mask since you're going to try to make it a national mandate that everybody wears one. Learn how to put it on correctly, you dork. All right, Wayne, I know you're going to take the calm for a second, and then, hey, have we sufficiently thrown the Supreme Court under the bus? I'm just saying. Dwayne, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Look, does anyone have an opinion other than me? Jump right in, but look, or is it true? Is it true that you got to wear a black robe to work in order to feel special? In order to, like, you don't know because they put the bench up at 17 feet in the air. You go to the Supreme Court, you try to see Chief Justice Roberts, he's higher in the air than the Lincoln Memorial statue of Abe. But now these brainiacs have to wear robes too?
Oh, they wear robes in every single court, not only the Supreme Court.
Please. Please. Oh, they probably, yeah. That's
while
what
they're
I'm
on
saying.
the bench or out, or in,
right.
representing the courts in public.
We don't know from all the armed guards and the fact that you sit up 10 feet taller than anyone at the bench in front of you. We don't know that you're the judge. You got to wear a robe too. Oh, that's just great. So the history of our country is running around with people that it is Halloween 365 and a quarter days a year. They're dressed for Halloween. That's fantastic. And now if they come back and they're wearing masks, let's hope they can at least learn to wear them the right way since everyone seems to be a fan of them. Boy, that's really something. All right, Wayne, I'll give it to you, and then we'll come right back. So the phone lines are tied up, are they? Well, you're welcome to leave us a message, and because your voice deserves to be heard, we just might play the recording on air. So sit up straight, take a deep breath, belt it out, and let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're thinking. We're thrilled because, look, your opinion deserves to be heard. That's all we're saying. Phone lines are open, 833-MORTAL-1, 833-667-8251. Is this the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive, Wayne, or not?
I guess you could say that.
This is the best. The best time in the history of the world to be alive, because if you're like me and you couldn't care less about the vampire class, right? Mm-hmm. What we call it wing sauce. So now you got someone calling for a national mask mandate pretty soon, that's what I'm told, doesn't even know how to properly wear the mask. I love it. I love it. It's perfect because, Wayne, and you know what, buddy? Let's just go ahead because we're going to talk about it in the Mortal Up Minute anyways. We're going to expand on it a little bit. Miss Putnam, nice to see you again as always. Let's go ahead and cue up Mortal Up, so to speak. Within the Fifth Amendment, the Bill of Rights, the United States Constitution, there's a concept called due process. And in terms of the law, there's both procedural and substantive. But in terms of living life to its fullest, it's due, D-U-E, not dual, D-U-A-L process. And dual process simply means that if it's been achieved before, you have the ability, you have the right, you have the capabilities, the natural resources to achieve it for yourself. So it's on you and me not to act like second-class citizens. It's on you and me to decide I'm not going to tolerate a life where I'm not thriving, because it has nothing to do with dual process. It's all due process. And if you're here, happiness is due to you. I'm Brian Brawdy for your Mortal Up Minute. All right, Dwayne, so expanding upon that a little bit as we do it, and as I see, some of the other people coming across the wire now, some of the other stories, Amy Klobuchar, are these people ever going to go away, or are they going to be like George Step in a pile of it, and we're going to be hearing about him for 20 years? Please go away.
You know,
anything but certain news network. ABC's got to be thrilled to get rid of him. Maybe it's the head of ABC that's trying to get him out the door, right? So they can get somebody else like Don Lemon over there crying, on camera. Mr. Control, right? This is the guy that was in a hot tub drinking vodka from a slipper. right? Oh, I think if I remember correctly, he got his ear pierced on camera. Oh, this is one sharp knife. Talk about cutlery. Yeah. Maybe he's going to go there. Maybe the people over at Always Been or Anything But Certain News are trying to get rid of little Georgie and sending him over there to Jeopardy. I think there should be a test. I think they should put all the people running for the late Alec Trebek's job. That would be a video. Talk about the dimwit dialogues. Wayne, wouldn't you like to see that competition go down?
Not really.
Oh, I would. It's hysterical. Right? Stumbling around, trying to find an answer these questions. Yeah, sure. Yeah, George, that's exact. George stepping a pile of it. That's the guy we want. All right, so let's get back to this. Let's talk a little bit, since it's I don't want it to be a political show, and I definitely don't want it to be, who are we kidding, Wayne? There's nothing about this show. There's nothing about this show that anyone can learn anything from. Are you kidding me? But let's just take a little walk down memory lane. So you got this thing called the Constitution. As an add-on, you got the Bill of Rights. And you have these amendments to the Bill of Rights. And the Fifth Amendment, there's a bunch of different things it talks about. But let's get to due process, right? You and I believing that it's a level playing field, right? That everyone, all you have to do is channel your natural resources. All you have to do is mortal up. Bring your authentic vigor. Do what you can. Dwayne says, I'm not wearing something that covers my good looks. Dwayne, God love you, brother. So Dwayne says, I'm not carrying something that covers my good looks. Besides, if masks actually stops COVID, then why have the COVID cases increased since the mask mandate came out? Wayne, if you're watching the feed, I got to give this a heart if I can't figure out how to. Oh, no, I think I just did. Dwayne, I'm absolutely with you. So here's the thing. I don't want to correct Dwayne, but you can see from his avatar, he's a damn good looking guy. All I'm suggesting, Dwayne, is that I would benefit. Look, brother, I have more head scars than most Vikings. You're watching the show. You know that if there was a face built for a mask, it would be mine. I have a face for radio. I don't know why we keep putting a camera on me. So God love you, Dwayne. I'm glad to hear it. But I'm with you. So, Wayne, help me out this. Help Dwayne and I out if you would. Since masks are the be-all to end-all, since masks, and I'm just looking, any picture you see of these people with masks and the sides are open. Have you seen this video where a guy's smoking a cigarette and he exhales while he has the mask on, and the smoke not only permeates the mask, it comes out all around it? Just how freaking stupid do we seem, Wayne?
I agree. I mean, back in the very beginning, there were some studies done that showed that the particles for COVID were so small that even the N95 mask could not guarantee protection.
Well, here's the thing about the N95 mask, and I just know because I've had to wear them for a bunch of different reasons. But the N95 masks doesn't stop your breath out. They're designed to keep you from getting dust particles in your lungs. But when you exhale, so you'll go, I got to get me one of them N95 masks. Well, all you're doing, you might as well be breathing through a straw. All you're doing is spitting COVID out in the air. Mm-hmm. But all I'm simply suggesting, I think Dwayne is onto something. I really do, right? That if you're not like, now I see, Dwayne, to be honest, I get it why Nancy Pelosi wants to wear a mask. Don't you, brother? Really? Honest? Come on, right? I get why some people are going, this is the greatest thing to happen to triple chins since... Well, what? Since plastic surgery, I guess. This is the greatest thing to happen to triple chins since plastic surgery. So I understand that, Dwayne, but not for a good-looking guy like you. Honestly, or for people that go, this is crazy. The masks aren't going to help you from getting the Wuhan wheeze. And Wayne, since everybody and their brother and their sister, except a handful of us, most everyone is wearing a mask, how do the cases keep growing every day? Are all these people taking off their masks and licking doorknobs to public restrooms?
Well, that's the interesting piece also. I had put a post out a few weeks ago, which describes you go into a restaurant. You touch the doorknob like everybody else does.
Right.
You wear your mask to get to your table. The waitress comes over and puts the glass down on the plate on your table.
Right.
You pick that up.
Yep.
You drink it because you don't have your mask on. You get your receipt or your bill.
Yep.
And then when you get up to leave, you go walking out the door. You grab the door handles to open the door. Yep. You take your mask off, and what's the first thing you're doing? You're touching your face to take the mask off.
Take the mask off. And then now, whatever's... listen, let me just say this. We go back. I want to say hello to Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you for stopping by, as well as Ralph. Ralph, thank you so very much. we're kicking around how it is that some people have a face built for masks. I do, right? Like I was born with a hair lip. After 5 brain surgeries and 2 other cancers, I got more head scars than most Vikings. I get it, right? All I'm simply suggesting, if the masks were the be-all to end-all, why do the numbers keep growing? And more importantly, Jake Slapper over at the Circus News Network is ready to rail against people that go to church services or ball games or go out to dinner and this and that. But you can have a full-on rock and roll show having nothing but fun, and we reeled. Yes, that riff was brought to you by an impersonation of George Thorogood. Reelin' and a rockin', right? You can go out and reel and rockin', prance until the break of dawn to celebrate the Clueless Joe alleged election. But no one's going to say anything about that. Talk about a super spreader. No, if you ride a motorcycle to South Dakota, if you ride a motorcycle, you're not going to any more of a super spreader event than these super spreader events when everyone's running around. Just see Schumer get in trouble the other day out there having a press conference, talking about great he is, talking about how he can't wait to control the Senate, how here's our chance to change America. What the hell is wrong with America? I don't want America changed. Are there some things we could clean up? Sure. Right? I imagine we all feel that way. There's some things that could be a little better. Yeah, but I don't want to fundamentally change America. What is wrong with this guy? Someone calls him out on it. What's he do, Wayne? What's the first thing that little Chucky Schumer does when he gets called out on it?
I didn't even listen to it.
Yeah, that's okay. He put on a mask. So I was talking like this. All right, so what Chucky, it's not covering your nose. You took Clueless Joe's master class on how to wear a mask ineffectively. Right, there you go. That's it. That's the press conference in case anybody missed it. I know, I'm with you, brother, right? It just makes you want to scream. This vampire class, I don't get it. All right, so I digress. Wayne, did you order me that little spritzer? You know, they're one of those little squirt bottles with water. There's a fan going on. I can back away from the mic and just give myself a spritz if I need to. So let's get back to Mortal Up. So in any event, there's the Fifth Amendment, and it's called due process. But the vampire class wants you to believe in a thing called dual process. Now, their definition of the Fifth Amendment is that there's a dual process. One set of rules for them and a set of rules for all of us lemmings. All of us deplorables. There's a set of rules for the flyover country, right? There's a set of rules of everyone that we're going to send a scarlet letter to because they didn't vote the way we wanted them to. We couldn't bully them. Right? With all the Poison Ivy League pundits, all the Poison Ivy League pollsters throwing the numbers. Can I ask you a question, Wayne? How can you be down double digits in the state and then win that state by double digits? How can there be a 22? Look, let's just say you're down 10 in the polls, you win by 10 in the polls. How do these pollsters keep their jobs? I don't get it, right? But the Poison Ivy League, everyone in the vampire class, oh, it's dual process. It's a different set of rules for them than it is for you and me because you suck. You don't deserve due process. You don't deserve to be happy in life. You deserve to be dictated because you're too stupid to figure out how to run life on your own. You're too stupid. You're too backwards. You're too much of a country bumpkin, right? To be able to figure out what's best for you. So we have to elect the vampire class and their cohorts with the media mania. We have to elect the vampire class to tell us, oh, here we go. Well, yes. You guys and girls you'll be wearing training wheels or water wings your whole life. So we're the vampire class. We will come and tell you what's best for you. That's why I say, Wayne, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Because you know who's really being outed?
Who's that?
The vampire class. The Meshuggah media. All these people that did everything they can to put their fingers on the scales, all the pollsters, everyone. I love it. Greatest time in the history of the world to be alive right now, 5 minutes till the top of the hour. You couldn't have a better time to be alive because don't fall for it. Don't believe in dual process. When it comes to your life, you get to dictate the terms that you'll confront fate. You get to dictate what it's going to take. Fate going to back you in a corner? Of course it is. That's fate's job. Fate does what it can. But you and I, the good news is, We're built for the corner. Our shoulder blades collapse in just fine. You and I are built for the chaos. We're going to square our shoulders, and we're going to write our destiny the way we see fit. The hell with the vampire class. That's all I'm suggesting, Wayne, is that I think pretty soon people are going to go, these people are nuts. And we're tired of putting up, right? We're tired of putting up with the wing sauce. We're tired of putting up. Oh, I like that one even better. There you go. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, turkey. Yeah, that's making me hungry. I think I got to have lunch when the show is over. Right, Wayne? That's all I'm suggesting. I think it's the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive because people are starting to look and go, the vampire class, I know the pun would be the vampire class. Well, the vampire class just sucks. Yes, I think they do. I think that continues the metaphor just perfectly. All right, Wayne, what else before we get ready to get out of here? Let me just say this. Due process. It's due to you to be happy. It's due to you to thrive. It's due to you to work the red carpet. It's due to you to have a star on a walk of fame wherever you want it. Don't let anyone water you down. Someone asked me the other day in an elevator. Oddly enough, neither one of us were wearing masks. And they go, oh, well, the Brian Brawdy Show. I like your T-shirt. What's that all about? And so I had to encapsulate it. I go, look, we don't believe in the watering down of human wherewithal. We defend human potency every time we're on the air. And if you don't like it, to hell with you. Because here's the thing. Here's what we know. You don't have to tune in. But we're here to defend human potency every single day. It's what we do at the Brian Brawdy Show, because there's no reason for you to accept a belief that you're wounded, that you need healed, that you're fragmented, that you're somehow a blue light special at the old Kmart store, a tchotchke on a discount markdown table at the back of a 5 and 10. That's not you. Don't let them convince you. Don't let them try to convince you. Just sit up straight and go, you know what? You're full of crap, George. Step in a pile of it. And we're not going to listen to you anymore because we are done. Mug pamphlet, you don't like it, put me in jail. All right? So there you go. All right, Wayne, you got to get me that spritzer, brother. All right. So, Wayne, last minute, let me just thank everyone on Facebook, over on Spitter. And, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so very much. Our numbers wouldn't be growing if it weren't for you all, so thank you very much. Thank you for the people listening live on RadioBride.com. We love being your virtual hitchhiker. If you're like us, you're working for a living. If you're out and about, you're running around town, we love riding shotgun. Throw us in the couple. Just hit RadioBride.com. Hit the play button. We'll ride shotgun with you. So thank you so very much. If you're listening on iTunes, iHeartRadio, or, of course, over at Spotify, you've been listening to the 500 and some odd episode of the Brian Brawdy Show, and we are very thrilled to have you with us. And of course, as always, I need to thank Counterpunch.media and Certifiable Brands. And as I end every show, thanking the executive producer, Wayne, for everything he does to make me look less like a face for radio. And let me just also say, Dwayne, God love you, brother. Keep looking great. And we will see you. We hope to see you tomorrow. Wayne, we are out.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.